Alright, so today I'm going to talk about supply and demand. I'm going to explain what both the terms mean, the two laws of supply and demand, the four market behaviors, and discuss an example of these two in action. So supply is basically how much of something is in stock. Let's say any good or service, canned corn, car washes, dogs, anything that you can buy, how much of it is on the shelves for consumers. And demand is the consumer demand for it. I'm again going to explain to you guys the laws of supply and demand, which I will cut to. And now these are the laws of supply and demand. So the law of supply explains that as the price of something, a good or service, goes up, the supply of it also goes up because people are less willing to spend that much money, therefore increasing price for that service. But as the price goes down, the supply goes down because people will be more willing to spend and more of that stuff will be bought. The law of demand, meanwhile, says that as the price goes up, the demand goes down. This actually works in turn with the law of supply and vice versa. As the demand goes down, people are buying less, and as such, more of it is in supply. And then the last part of the law of demand is that as the price goes down, the demand goes up. Because, once again, people are more willing to spend money on stuff. And then these are the four market behaviors. The first one is that supply may increase, supply may decrease, demand may increase, and demand may decrease. Now, to help you guys get the gist of everything, I am going to show you guys a brief example of this working in a hypothetical market. Let's say here that Stickman Bob has beans for sale. It's a relatively cheap bargain of $1 per can. Now, Stickman Joe comes up and buys a can for himself, and the beans are phenomenal. Naturally, Stickman Joe tells all his friends about Stickman Bob's exceptional beans. Now more stickmen want the beans, and Bob starts running a little low. So Bob he raises production of the beans and raises the price of his beans from $1 to $10. This is done so that he can make more money off of them. But then nobody wants beans because they cost too much. Bob, you're an idiot. As supply increases but demand for beans decreases, Stickman Bob goes to lower the price to something a bit more reasonable, a decent $5. Now demand increases again, allowing for a smooth flow as supply equals demand. Now, let's analyze this with a graph. The y-axis is the price, while the x-axis represents how much of the product is either being bought or produced, depending on these lines, which are the red and the blue one. This red line is the demand curve where the further to the right on the x-axis it rises, the more is being bought. The blue line is the supply curve, and the x-axis for this curve represents how much is being produced. Analyzing this, Bob had a default price of $1. We have a pretty nice balance here. Supply and demand is both low, but steady and equal. Note how as we go higher up on the y-axis, or the price we set, supply gets higher and we never run into the demand curve. That's because no one wants to buy so much for a Mean Street can of beans. Mean Street, as they may seem, until Joe appears. After Joe's accolades increase the demand curve shifts to the right, and Bob starts running out of beans. On the graph, you can see that whilst the demand was high, supply was low due to the low price of $1. Looking back at the $1 mark of the y-axis, we see that it intersects with the demand curve first, and quite early, signifying that it's pretty low, or that less beans are in stock than desired. That is called a shortage. In trying to make a profit here, Bob raises both the price and rate of production to further his profits. However, the new price is unreasonably high in the main rows because even Walmart beans are cheaper. Now supply is high again, but the demand is low, so now we have what's called a surplus for the beans. Looking at the $10 mark of the y-axis, we see that it hits the demand curve first and rather quickly, signifying that it's quite low. Lowering the costs, demand increases as more people are willing to shed $5 rather than 10, and the demand starts balancing out for the supply, as if we move from the $5 mark on the graph, on the y-axis, we can see that it runs into the supply and demand curves at the same time, which is called an equilibrium. And when this occurs, the market clears. As demand increases, price may increase slightly to keep up, and so will supply. So to top it off here are the basic qualities of supply and demand. The law of supply. As price goes up, stock goes up. Stock is just another term for supply. As price goes down, supply goes down. If the price low and demand is high, then the price goes up. If demand is high and supply is high, if demand is high, then the supply will go up. Well, people will try, and most of the time, they will be able to increase the supply or stock of what is being made, but this may not work in certain cases. In a surplus, the price is lowered to up the demand. The law of demand. Price goes up, then demand goes down. If the price goes down, the demand goes up. Demand does depend on several factors. The lower the price is, the higher demand is. And the lower the demand is, the less is supplied. And lastly here we have the full market behavior. Supply may increase, demand may increase, supply may decrease, and demand may decrease. So, that's pretty much it for you. However, in the real world, it isn't actually just smooth. In this example, we're going to take a look at some external factors that may affect the market more. So, take a good look at Good Guy here. Isn't he adorable and cuddly? Compared to all the other Bionicles released in 2007, the Good Guy here was considered an absolute joke when he first came out in magazine promotion back in the days 2007. No one wanted to buy Good Guy. In fact, you could buy any of the other Bionicles released in the year 2007, such as the heroes of the series, the Tora and Ica, or the Kuraka, who were the villains of the 2007 year, instead. But 8 years later, up in 2015, a YouTuber by the name of Sunny Oranges up in Illinois just randomly features Good Guy as a starring character in the Revivi Bionicle series. It's a good series, by the way, you should watch it. And suddenly, awareness of Good Guy's existence is known far and wide. What you expect is how Lego boosts the production of the figure and raises the price of him by a bit to make some money off of what is going on. However, Bionicle is dead. And that sucks. So what actually happens is that Good Guy becomes more rare as people try to buy him from countless people online, prices often going up due to increased rarity. But here's the thing, prices remain pretty cheap for Good Guy. In fact, buying him from others is pretty much unnecessary, because you can actually self-supply for him. If you have enough spare parts, you can build from the comfort and safety of your own home. It's probably not even on sale online anywhere anymore. So in this special case, as people wish to make a profit, the price only increases as supply never balances to demand. I mean, like, oh my god, look how much... Not you, Good Guy. That the Scorpio set here costs. And I mean, it was like, what, $80 back in 2009? So yeah, that's pretty much it. In the end, FX2 played a big role in this, and as much as some people try to leave the market being for naturally for capitalism to fully work, I mean, capitalism has been the best system economically in all of history. It's just that it needs some government regulation every once in a while, when necessary to protect the lives of others. I mean, like, your taxes pay police officers and the like so that you don't have to pay them, God forbid there's any sort of emergency. So, yeah.